Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this release day live stream for Train Sim World 3. We are just waiting for Joe, the British Ace, to finish his stream, and we will be kicking off probably in around about 5 minutes or so. So just waiting for the British Ace to finish. As soon as he does, we will be on our way. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Train Sim World release day live stream. We are just waiting for Joe, the British Ace, to finish up on his channel, and we will be starting in just a couple of minutes' time. He's just rolling into Who Junction on a Class 66. As soon as he's had a stand and finished, we will be starting. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting in just a few moments' time. We're just waiting for the British Ace, Joe, to finish up on his channel. If you haven't watched his stream, then do head over there and say hi before he finishes up. And we will be starting in just a couple of minutes' time with Train Sim World 3.
I think this goes off to the Isle of Grain. Which don't they want to? Aren't they building like tons of houses? further it actually is to the Isle of Grain.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this Train Sim World free live stream. We are just waiting for the British Ace to finish up on his channel. Should only be a couple of minutes. He's just arriving at Who Junction on the Class 66. As soon as he finishes his stream, we will be starting. Grab yourself some drinks, light refreshments, that sort of thing, and we'll be jumping in soon.
Everyone.
Hello, everybody. Let's turn some lights on. There we go. Oh, it's blinding me. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? Hope you're all very well. If you've just joined me from Joe's channel, The British Ace, then welcome. And thank you very much, Joe, for the continued plugs and for the excellent stream this morning. Caught most of it. Really good, bud. Really great to see that. So it is release date for Train Sim World 3, ladies and gentlemen. Who has got the game already? Who is waiting for it to download? What are your thoughts? Do let me know in the chat. Great to have so many of you people in today. 56 of you so far. That's fantastic. And we've got some new names in the chat, which is really good. So if this happens to be the first stream or video you've seen by me, then my name is Richard, and I am a freight train driver and former passenger train driver based in the southeast of England. I'm also a father to 4 wonderful children. Only one is interested in trains, and that's where the Dad Rail name comes from. So during our stream today, we are going to be having all of our usual features. Regular viewers to the stream will know we play a game called Locomotive Location Livery that looks a bit like this.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
So behind the board there, you will find a picture, and it's your job throughout the stream to reveal boxes and tell me the locomotive location and livery of the picture underneath. All will become clear as we go along, though. Don't panic too much just yet. Not that you were, but there we go. So we are going to be doing a couple of services in Train Sim World 3 today. And we're going to start off, despite the fun now being a class 375, we're going to start off doing a 390. And we're going to do a full run from St Pancras down to Faversham. Now I've set this up for August. Actually, let's change. Let's go to September. 7:20 on a September morning. So hopefully we might get a nice sunrise in that. And we'll put it on light clouds with the dynamic weather turned on and see what happens. Let's press get started. LNER Zoomer, I just finished Gravesend to London Charing Cross. Amanda Silver, hello. Someone hello. Gordon Lease, GTUK, got it on early access. 138990, I'm new to this channel. Great to have you here, bud. Pig and Bob, welcome. Okay, right, 1 Charlie 10, St Pancras International to St Pancras International, a horrible rounder service. So all we need now is the bit from Faversham back round to Ashford via Dover and Canterbury, and we've got the whole route. This is my trolley dolly. Say hello to trolley dolly Mum Row. She's providing the drinks and light refreshments for today's stream. So, we're quite casual and chilled out here, as you can probably tell already. So let's jump into the straight into the 390. So one of the great things is we've now got 2-minute setup times on all locomotives and units and train services, which I am most definitely a big fan of. So I'm going to start by whacking the safety systems back in. There we go, and we've got the TVM KVB systems. Put that into normal and normal, which hopefully means we're going to drive with all the safety systems on, and if all goes to plan, we won't be getting any emergency brake applications and everything will be superb. Yeah, that never happens. So, master key on, reverse it to neutral. Lots and lots of noises going off. So one of the things that you do on the real 395, let's get the doors open while I'm talking. One of the things you do on the real 395s is when you put the key in, you have to press the train fault acknowledge button. So all those alarms that were going off, you press the train fault acknowledge button, which shuts up half the alarms. Then you press the AWS acknowledge button, which shuts off the AWS. So, yeah, there we go. Do let me know if you want the game audio up or down, guys. I've been doing a bit of recording for a Class 66 tutorial, so I've mucked about with my levels on the stream. So do let me know if the game needs to go up or down, or what you need done with that. So we'll set our lights as well to day running. That is the train set up. So we've got line volts there. If you can't get the train to move, check you've got line volts, check that's illuminated, and check the MCB/VCB light isn't illuminated. If that's illuminated, you won't be able to move, and then you'll need to use the CTRL power select and the pan up shoes down button. So there is our train. What are we doing? I can't remember all the buttons for this T, isn't it? There we go. Stratford International, Ebbsfleet International, Gravesend, Strood, Rochester, Chatham, Gillingham, Raynham, Sittingbourne, and finally Faversham. When we get down to Faversham, we'll probably jump in the 395, either the 465 or the 375, and then we'll come back again. Right, doors closed. Someone, game audio up, please. Yeah, we can do that, no problem at all. Let's whack that up a couple of notches. Stopping location, Stratford. Let's get going. Right, into forward. And off we go. Fingers crossed. It's moving. That's a good start. It's moving. That's half the battle. So, try and keep up with your chat. Jack Weaver, hello, how you doing, bud? You should be working. Meant to be doing my 73 hours soon. How fun. 73s are good, Jack. You'll enjoy those. Nikki JJ, as a beginner, what is the best train to start with? I would say just jump in. The 465 and 375 are pretty easy to drive. If you've got the Train Sim World 2 add-ons, then go for the Bakerloo line. That's quite easy. There's a lot of tutorials out and about, though. We're already speeding. It's a tea and biscuits moment. So coming out of here, we're under the whatever that is, KVB safety system, which I know absolutely nothing about. Yeah, it's got lines on it and it stops us speeding. That's about all I know about that safety system. Peppy MU fan, hello Deborah, good afternoon, good to see you again. You too, my friend, you too. I'm loving the bloom and the lighting effects on the tunnel. I think they're really, really excellent in this. I think generally speaking, Dovetail have done a really good job with the new lighting and the dynamic weather and everything. It does look very nice now. The games feel, and the trains feel really nice to drive. So we've got a green and a D. Stop talking and get some power in would be a good idea. The TVM system should kick up in a minute. It should get nice and dark as we get into the tunnel. The glow on those signals is superb. There we go, so we've got 80. So we can get a little bit of power in. We're going downhill. Just about half power, let the gradient take some of that for us. There we go, 200. Let's whack it wide open and get going. Right, trying to keep up with your chat, guys. Where are we? Debt Trains 43. Hey, Richard, it's been a while. I've been in your stream. My headset has been broken. Oh, sorry to hear that. I hope you've got a new one there. Someone, what passenger trains did you drive in real life? I was, so as a mainline driver, 375s and 377s, but I also worked as a shunter driver at Ashford. So we used to shunt in the yard at Ashford and take trains in and out of the station. And doing that, I signed 465s, 466s, which is the same thing really, 395s and 376s, although I only drove a 376 I think once. So yeah, good selection, good selection. Joe Burgess, KVB, that's the one. Follow lines. Oh, all the lines mean follow line speed. Thanks very much, Joe. Don Rusty Rails, 5 more hours before launch for me. So there we go, cleared for 225, which is the top speed of this train. So 225 flashing means at the next marker point we can expect our speed to reduce. So what are we going to get? 200. So we're already under 200, which is good, but we are flashing, so that means it's going to come down a bit further. As a general rule of thumb, we don't want to be using more than about 60% of our braking capacity during service braking. I mean, if you need it, use it. I've said this before, it's there if you need it, use it. But if you're regularly using more than 60% of your braking capacity, then you're driving sort of too fast. The reason we don't want to use more than 60% is because we always want to keep something in reserve just in case we come into a station a bit hard. Which we never do in real life, of course, because we're highly professional individuals. Filling you all with confidence there. So, right, so 100 static with the amber or yellow diamonds behind it means we need to be doing 100 at the next marker board. So I'm probably breaking my own rule about 60% there because we need to get some serious braking. And there were 100 with nothing behind it, which means we need to be doing 100 right now. Dark DJ Productions, I'm interested to hear the opinions of a real-life train driver, how realistic Train Sim World 3 is to real life. I think it's good. There's elements about it which are not entirely accurate, but I think you can't necessarily expect 100% accuracy from a game. It's just never going to happen. Overall, it's very good. I think it looks very good. The train physics are pretty good. We've got working TPWS in the game now, which is really nice. I honestly think I would put it out there, and I always do this every time. I would put it out there and say it's probably the most realistic train simulator on the market at the moment. I'm sure some people disagree with me. Supposed to be a train driver. Right, unlock the doors. 3-step check. So we're a 6-car train, way past the 6-car marked doors on the left. I do this every time. I have problems, even when I play the German routes, I have problems adjusting from the kilometres an hour coming into the stations. It just really throws me. And I know it does, so I should kind of... Oh, we have people on the roof up there. You didn't see that bit. You didn't see that bit. Yeah, it always throws me with the speed. Always. I told you we were going to be having tea and biscuits with the manager at some point, didn't I? It always happens. Someone, let's pretend we have a 12 car. Absolutely. I mean, the passengers just spilt their coffee. But I mean, on the plus side, we're now early because we come into the station really hard. Dorian Gaming, hello from a trainee German passenger train driver. Hello. Shark Tales, call yourself a train driver. That's why I drive freight trains, Shark Tales. Don't have to worry about stations. Right, lock doors. Okay, right. Let's try again at Ebbsfleet. We are off. Right, so we're allowed to do 100k at the moment. Did I say doors on the left, Rowan? Hey, Levi6859, welcome to Dabrow, new subscriber. One of the other videos I put out, I kept saying doors on the left when they were on the right. I kept getting my left and right mixed up. My brain's working faster than my mouth's working faster than my brain. It's terrible. Right, we're trying to drive in a more professional manner that is befitting to the professional standards of my occupation. Right, there we go, 225. Whack it open, let's rock and roll. Shark Tales, I'm waiting for the patch for Windows 10. Super Steed 27, what's the longest freight train you got to drive? The longest freight train I ever drove was a car train out of Dagenham. I took it up to Northampton. I was actually on assessment on that journey, so I don't sign that route. I was being route conducted, and that was 120 slew. So a slew, an SLU, standard length unit, is 21 feet. So we'll do the maths because my brain's not working. So 120 times 21. Oh, can't even use a calculator now. So that's 2,520 feet, which by UK standards is pretty long. Obviously by American standards and continental standards it's not at all, but by UK standards that's quite a long train. Simon Trina, welcome to Dadrow, new subscriber. Yeah, Adam, good afternoon to you too. It really is nice. The lighting on it, the dynamic weather, the game physics, the sounds, is such a good upgrade to the game. It's very, very welcome. I know a lot of people were kind of critical during the early stages when it was announced, but I think having seen the gameplay and people experience it, I think it's been pretty well received all in all. What power notch do train drivers use when coming out of stations? It is entirely dependent on what type of train you're driving. It is entirely dependent on the railhead conditions, the gradient, the speed limits, the signal aspect. Take the 375 for example that I used to drive. If you've got a green signal and say the speed limit's 100, you've got a green signal and you're pulling away from a station on a dry road, just whack it straight into notch 4. If you're driving a class 66 though, you're going to want to take it notch by notch. So notch 1, pause for a second, notch 2, pause for a second. So yeah, it really does depend on the type of train you're driving and the circumstances. Ghostfire Gamings, howdy all. Howdy. What's the favourite train to drive? Do you mean in the simulator or do you mean in real life? If you mean in the simulator, probably the 465. I really like the 465. In real life, out of all the trains that I currently sign, it's the class 73. Shunter Jack. Pesky real life trains are interrupting my viewing. We'll be back after I send this train out. Now, Jack, I don't want to be the cause of any operational incidents. I will get your diary channel set up as well, Jack. I've seen your name pop up and it's just reminding me about that. So if you don't know, guys, we do have a community Discord server. It's a very friendly Discord server. We're very lucky like that. Got a really good mod team over there looking after it. Link in the description below. And we do have several staff members over there that keep diaries about their day-to-day workings on the railway. So if you want to join that, do head over to there. Look at the bloom on the tunnel and the shadows. It is really gorgeous. It is really, really gorgeous. As we come to, I think this is Ripple Lane, this area is known as. Keith, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Can I show the map? I'll show the map when we stop at Ebbsfleet. Ghostfire Gamings, they have done an amazing job with this game, so much better than Train Sim World 2. I have had some lag spikes, though, that are quite constant. If they fix that, I don't know what else they could do. Game's amazing. Really good feedback, excellent. Yeah, I've had a... Mike Bottom, welcome to Dadrow, new subscriber. Great to have you here. I've had a couple of lag spikes, but nothing too serious. So for reference purposes, I'm currently getting, you can't see my frame rate, I'm getting 80 FPS at the moment, 85 FPS, it just spiked. So I'm normally constantly above 60. I do get a couple of occasions where it might spike out, but to put that into perspective, I'm running quite a beefy machine. But I'm getting those. The game's not in 4K for me; it's in 1080 because I'm streaming in 1080, so I'm playing in 1080. But I am getting those sort of frame rates also whilst streaming. So I'm streaming from exactly the same computer that I'm playing on. It's not like a separate. It's not a separate computer with a capture card. I like the sense of speed. I done a short video. I say a short video on the pre-release. I done a video Ashford up to St Pancras in the 395, and I used to work for Southeastern many years ago in a different life, and I started with Southeastern before the high-speed service was introduced, and they run a staff-only preview service with a 395, and basically what they wanted was lots and lots of staff members and their families to come along, get on a 395 at Ramsgate, travel up to Ebbsfleet or via the North Kent, travel up to Ebbsfleet, then get on and off the train several times. And what they were doing with that data is they were sort of checking the cameras were okay on the side of the trains, checking how long it takes to evacuate people. And that was the first ever daytime run of a Class 395. First time I'd ever been on a high-speed train as well. And during the journey back, we were travelling through this section here at the moment between Dagenham, Ripple Lane, Dartford, Ebbsfleet, and a member of the press come up to me on the train and said, you know, what do you think of it? And I said, you know, the best way I can describe it is the sensation's very similar to flying. I said, you know, you've got the gradients going up and down, and it kind of wiggles in and out of existing structures, and it's not like a traditional railway line, you know, where everything else is built around the railway line. This kind of just literally ploughs through everything. If there's a bridge there, an existing bridge, it just sort of dives under it and over. And yeah, I kind of describe the sensation as similar to flying. Ethan's Transport Vlogs, Train Sim World 3 should have been an update for Train Sim World 2. So I will probably upset a lot of people when I say this, guys. Maybe it's a controversial view. Developers have got to eat. They've got bills to pay. You know, you can't expect them to not charge for their work at the end of the day. Maybe some people don't feel that it's worth the price, but if you don't feel it's worth the price, then it's quite simple. Don't buy it. But you know, there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, this should have been a free update. It should have been this. It should have been that." But you know, they've put a lot of work into this. There has been a lot of big changes, in my opinion. I think it looks much better. And at the end of the day, they've got a right to be paid for their work, just like anybody else has. So that's just my opinion on it. But yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, of course. Right, we're coming into Ebbsfleet. I'm going to try really hard not to overrun the platform here, not to misjudge my speed. Blue Savannah, hello Dad and everyone. Isn't it amazing? The skies are awesome. They really do look nice. Jay Callow, what work did they do? It looks the same. Jay, I would say go and have a look at some of the development diaries and stuff. The new lighting system, dynamic weather, new physics in the game, sound upgrades. I think it would have been nice to have a new UK route. I think that would have been a good idea, but it's kind of been explained to me that they didn't have time to implement a new route, and I'm going to do the same again at this station. Let's get lots of braking. Yeah, like I say, everyone's kind of entitled to their opinion on the game and what you think about it, but you know, at the end of the day, they've put work into it. Whether you think that's enough work to justify the price or not is kind of up to you. And you know, if you don't, then that's fair enough. Oh, we might actually get a half decent stop. Gonna get that as close as I can. That'll do. I'll take that. Okay, so now we are doing the power changeover. So if you don't know how to do the power changeover, we're going from the AC system or the CTRL system over to the DC system. So let's get our doors open first. So we are a 6-car train, S-car mark, doors on the right, not left. I want to get a pen and write R and L on my hands. And what we want to do now is make sure we've got brakes on, go into neutral, and we're going to select the DC power system. So there are 3 power systems on this train. You've got AC, DC and CTRL. The overhead lines on the Channel Tunnel rail link, the CTRL, are not the same as the standard Network Rail AC. I can't remember exactly what the difference is, but it's not the same. So that's why you've got a separate AC and CTRL. So we'll press and hold the DC button, that will light up. And you've got an MCB/VCB, so that's main circuit breaker and vacuum circuit breaker. So that light there is telling us that the circuit breaker is currently open. So press pan up, shoes down. That's dropping the pantograph and putting the shoes down now. And now you can see that the main circuit breaker light's gone out and we've got line voltage, which is telling us we've got 750 volts coming back in. So lock doors. We've got a green, we've got a DK, which is the down Kent. Into forward, and we are off to Gravesend. Yeah, as Joe Burgess rightly points out there as well, when you're in CTRL mode, your speedo will be in kilometres an hour. As soon as you change it back to DC, that automatically reverts back to miles an hour. And if you're in DC mode as well, the train is quite a lot slower to accelerate, which is exactly how it is in real life. Yeah, DET trains. I forgot about the map, didn't I? There we go. So you've got the 2 iterations of the route there. So St Pancras is up here, then you've got the high speed down to Ebbsfleet, which is here, and then continuing down to Ashford, I want to say, which is down here. You've then got Dartford over here, through Ebbsfleet, down through Hoo Junction, and down to Streets just about there, and you come down to Faversham over here. So I want to say it's about 80 miles in total route mileage now, but I could be completely wrong on that. So there's 136 of you lovely people in this afternoon, which is brilliant. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing. That would be brilliant. Lovely networker going over the top there. And we are 60 mile an hour at the moment, and then once we clear Springhead Road Junction, we go up to 70, and then drop down to I only know the freight speeds. We drop down to 30 through Gravesend, but I think there's a 50 before that. There we go, 90 miles, 89 miles. I was close. LNER Azuma 800. Why 375s have this 3-step check? So yeah, 395s have got that. That's a Southeastern thing. When we get to Gravesend, I'll kind of explain a bit more about that, what it is and why we have it. Gordon Lease, did you have any thunderstorms last night, Davrow? I was actually on the Isle of Grain branch last night. No thunder, but lots and lots of lightning everywhere. Quite picturesque, actually. Very, very picturesque. Yeah, indeed, Joe. The new Southeastern timetable is really good. There's a few gaps in it, though. May we be seeing any more trains? Are there purposely gaps in it? I'm sure you can't possibly comment. Right, let's get some braking for that 30. Using way too much brake. I'm not concentrating on my driving, am I? Ooh. That's fine, we'll take that. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. Right, we're 6 for the 6 at Gravesend. And the doors will be on the left. When we do our run back in the 375, we'll turn some weather on as well. And we do have dynamic weather on, so it might start raining. It is looking a bit more cloudy up there. But we'll force some rain. I done a run in the snow the other day with the 375. That was very atmospheric. Really impressed with that. So there is our 6-car mark. We want it about in the window here is where we want it, really, if we can get it. There we go. We can see the pole. That's good enough. So the 3-step check. We are checking 3 things in particular. We are checking the formation of our train, which is a 6-car train. We're checking our stop point on the platform, which is the 6-car mark, and we're checking what side the platform is on. So the platform is on the left. That is our 3-step check. And the reason we do that is because there are one of the risks being a passenger train driver, or one of several of the risks. Stopping short and opening your doors is a big risk. So if we had a 12-car train and we'd stopped here, the back 3 or 4 coaches may be hanging off the end of the platform. If we open the doors, you can guarantee you've got someone on a mobile phone, here's the door alarm go off, press the button, don't know where they're going, falls out onto the track. Obviously very, very dangerous. Likewise, if you was to come into this station and you were to open the doors on the wrong side, exactly the same scenario. Someone who could be maybe visually impaired person, or it could be someone on a phone not paying attention. They do exactly the same thing. Hear the door alarm, press the button, get out, splat on the track. It's one of those things because you think, oh, how hard can it be? Stop the train in the right place. How can you possibly open the doors on the wrong side of the train? But believe you me, it can be done. It's a lot easier than you would think. You kind of build up a bit of a muscle memory when you're driving trains. So if you've got 20 stations and the doors are always on the left, you kind of get into a routine and you go into autopilot. So you stop your train, doors on the left, stop the train, doors on the left, stop the train, doors on the left. And if you're not thinking about what you're doing, if your concentration level isn't there and you're not thinking about what you're doing, you can just have sort of an auto reaction. So you come into a platform where the doors are on the right, you stop the train, doors on the left, oh, bugger, I shouldn't have done that. So that's kind of why we have these signs saying 3-step check, and what that's trying to make you do is trying to prompt you to do your 3-step check to avoid incidents like that. Train driving is one of those things. It's incredibly monotonous, and you can start driving on autopilot very, very quickly. But when you start driving on autopilot, you stop thinking about things. That's when you're going to get caught out. I'd say to anyone who drives a car, how many times have you driven a car from A to B and not remembered the journey because you've been tired or fatigued, or you've just done the whole thing on autopilot? How many tasks in your daily life do you do without thinking about them? It's human nature. You do things without thinking about them. Trouble is, when you're driving a train, if you start doing things without thinking about them, that's when you can slip up really, really easily. So having incidents, opening the doors on the wrong side, going past signals, it's so easy. It really, really is. It's scary how easy it is, and that's why you just got to kind of keep your concentration levels up. Right, so we're good for 70. Our next station will be Strood. Right. Joe Burgess, do you start the 3-step check only once stopped? Yes, you do, Joe. So commentary driving is one of the other things we do in order to maintain concentration. So I'm constantly talking to myself. I do it when I'm on stream, but if I'm out driving on my own, I still do it. So we have a technique called risk-triggered commentary driving, which is basically say what you see. If you go past a yellow signal, if you say to yourself, yellow, red ahead, then what you're doing is, rather than that staying in your brain, you're bringing that fault into the physical world by having said it. You then hear it through your ears, and you're just reinforcing that thought process. So, like with the 3-step check there, and I'm speeding, like with the 3-step check there, what I'm doing coming into the station is I'm almost preparing myself. I'm going, right, I'm a 6-car train, I'm heading for the 6-car mark. And then when I actually stop the train, I then carry out the check. What I should also be doing, like when we're departing the station, is I'll be going, right, we're a 6-car train, next station stop is Strood. So you're checking your schedule card as you go along and stuff like that. And that's all associated with what we call non-technical skills. Non-technical skills are very, very big in the airline industry. So you're doing stuff like concentration, situational awareness, maintaining focus, and all stuff like that. And as train drivers, that's one of the most important skills that we can develop. I've got a video out actually called How Hard Is It to Drive a Train, and I realise I'm just rabbiting on now, how hard it is to drive a train, and I kind of talk about it in there, sort of manipulating the controls and getting the thing to move and pulling that back and pushing it. That's quite easy. you know, anybody can do that. You can teach someone to do that pretty quickly, but having the skills that you need to be a train driver, having that mindset, that attention to detail, that ability to maintain concentration and to analyse risk as you go along and kind of realise what's going on around you, that's where the skill set kicks in. And I think from a public perspective, nobody ever sees that side of the job. All you ever see is a train moving from A to B and someone moving a lever. You don't see the thought process that goes on behind it. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah, you're right, Carmen A. Japanese drivers use a similar system, point and call. And to be fair, there's a couple of places on the routes I drive which I know are high risk for me. So one of the routes I drive, Tunbridge to Southampton, we take a long route via Staines and Chertsey. I come to a place called Addleston Junction, Addleston Station. You've got Addleston Junction just afterwards, and there's a signal on the platform of Addleston. And for me, that's a high risk location because it's only 3 aspect signalling. If you've got one yellow on the signal at the end of the platform, your next signal after that is going to be red at the junction. But between the one yellow, between the station and the junction, you've got a speed limit reduction of which you get an AWS warning for. You've got a couple of foot crossings, there's nice scenery, there's quite a lot going on. So for me, when I'm going past that signal, I know that's a high risk signal. So I will, regardless of the aspect, I point to my eye, point at the signal and go green or one yellow. So I'm kind of identifying the fact that there is a risk there and then working out what I can do to mitigate against that. So the pointing, point and call really does work. Okay, so we're in Higham Tunnel. Next tunnel will be Strood Tunnel. We got 15 just before we go into Strood. I'm just trying to catch up with your chat now because I've been rabbiting on for ages. I hope you find the information I give out reasonably interesting as well, guys. If you do, then let me know. Carmen A, an awesome explanation. Thanks, brilliant. Shunter Jack, it's a good point you raise about being on autopilot. The railway in its nature is very repetitive, so it's easy to make mistakes based on assumptions or complacency. It is exactly that, Jack. 100% right. Ethan's, good night. Thank you very much for joining us. So, we got the 15 coming up. Really difficult, even in real life, to judge your distances in tunnels. There's no depth perception. It's really difficult, even in real life. So you're better off erring on the side of safety, so we get the speed, just get the speed down a little bit early. Crazy Killer, very interesting. I've started incorporating some of it into my in-game driving. Rowan Plays, very interesting. I've learned a lot from you. Fantastic. This kind of I mean, I think I've told you this before, but kind of a lot of me doing YouTube was about passing on knowledge for me. When this is where it gets deep and meaningful, guys. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a train driver. That was my ambition. And we didn't have social media, we didn't have online communities, we didn't have nothing like that. And being interested in trains was the most geeky thing ever. And if you told anyone you were interested in trains, that's it, you were getting bullied at school for it. There was no two ways about that. And trying to find information on being a train driver and stuff like that, there was nothing out there. It was impossible. Unless you knew someone that worked in the industry, it was impossible. There was nothing out there. And kind of, one of the things I wanted to do was starting the YouTube, was sort of being able to pass on that information and just being able to, you know, help people out a little bit where I can, sort of give back. The railways looked after me and looked after my family very, very well, and it's just kind of nice to be able to give back. So, I mean, I do get 20p a video from YouTube as well, but I'm not exaggerating as well. It is literally like. Right, so we're coming around the corner into Strood. Going uphill here, and we are red ahead. Eddie, the lighting looks great. The night lighting is also really. The night lighting is pretty accurate as well. I really do like the night lighting. Lewis Carr, hello, welcome to the stream. LNER Azuma, what happens if you drive a 395 with the open coupler? Can you get disciplinary warning for doing so? I am not entirely sure because I never drove the 395 on the main line. So I genuinely couldn't answer that question for you. I believe, I want to say that if you drive the 395 with a coupler hatch open, your speed is limited. I think the train automatically limits your speed because of the aerodynamics. I could be wrong about that though. So we are 6 cars for the S car mark, high risk location because the stop car mark is so close to the signal. That's going to be close enough. What we've got to remember with the 395 is we've got a long nose on the front of it. So we're going to go full service brake application. We're going to set our DRA because we're at a red signal, and we're going to go into neutral. And we do our 3-step check. So we are a 6-car train. We're on the S car mark, and the doors are on the left. So I have spoken so much. Should we play a game?
Post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
That is your cue, ladies and gentlemen. Post your numbers between 1 and 25 in the chat, and we'll have our first round of locomotive livery location. Charlie Aldis, really enjoying your videos. I'm going through the application process of being a trainee driver at the moment. Just didn't realise how long it all took. Been waiting 6 months for a stage 2. It is a long process. They never seem to be in a hurry for recruitment. Never. It's one of those things. Tim plays life. I think people are much more understanding these days, or at least that's what I found. Yeah, I think you're right, Tim, to be fair. Elenia Azuma, I'm 16 here, and in real life don't want to talk about my job or fear of bullying. No job, no shame at the end of the day. Yeah, I know. I feel you. I know exactly what you mean there. Right, wait until 7:56. So what do we got numbers wise? I always go for the third number on my screen, guys, and the reason I do that is because otherwise you get people kind of sitting there. Let's pause the game. You get people sitting there with a number already, and as soon as they play the jingle, they press the button. So if I go with the third one, it gives everyone a fighting chance. And on my screen, it's Rowan Plays with number 12.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to give you box number 12. You will have 10 seconds to tell me the locomotive livery and location. Here we go. Not much to go on in that one. Somebody nearly always gets it first time round, so I think this game's a bit too easy anyway. Do you have any faults? Right, we have got green, we've got position run route indicator. We can reset our DRA, lock the doors. Into forward. And we are 15 round the corner towards Rochester. Off we go. LNER Zuma, I want to be the same job but on a grease train driver. Mark, hello, yeah, not too bad. How are you? How are you? Eddie Hartsfield, what's the red line for on the brake percentage gauge? That's kind of where you don't want to be. If you're in the red line, you're braking too harshly. So try and stay out the red if you can. Nice little click on there as well as the doors seal themselves, which is a really nice touch. Ben Clayton could be a DB60. Artful says somewhere on the East Coast mainline. GWR Class 60 says Officer C. Rochester Castle on the right there. Oh, it's 20 up here. I thought it was 15. Little disclaimer, I don't sign this bit of the route. I only sign this route as far as Who Junction. So I've got... yeah. If I don't know where I'm going now, I've got an excuse. We've got the submarine as well. I point that out every time. Superstar 27 do a really good job explaining. Learned a lot. Fun to hear about experiences in real life. Very interesting. Thank you, bud. Appreciate that. So our speed's gone up a little bit. We are green. We dropped down to we're at 30 all the way, aren't we? And we go up to 50 just the other side of Fort Pitt Tunnel, I think. So coming round into Rochester. Mark Hazeldine, good mate. Don't know if you saw my comment on your Dawlish video about drone flying near railways. Do you know what the rule is now for sub 250 gram drones? So Mark, for sub 250, the onus is pretty much put on the pilot of the drone. So I'm registered with CAA. My drone's registered with CAA, and I've got liability insurance for my drone. So Network Rail have got instructions on their website and basically saying do not fly within 50 metres of a railway line. That does not apply to sub 250 gram drones, and I've had email confirmation from Network Rail email confirmation from Network Rail also confirming that. Right, so we are 3-step check, we are 6, and we are on the left. So basically the advice is, I mean, if you look at the video and look at where my drone footage is taken from, it's all taken from out over the sea. So I'm not flying directly over the railway track, I'm not endangering the trains or anything like that. But yeah, the 50 metre rule does not apply to sub 250 gram drones, but it's down to you as the drone operator just to make sure you're being responsible with it. Eleni Arzuma, I don't know, I find Train Sim World 3 to be a better version from Train Sim World 2. Officer C, how many years have you been on YouTube? Since 2016, but I've only been doing Train Sim for about the last year or so. Joe Burgess, when you get a GSMR emergency stop, do you stop immediately, as in apply the emergency brakes, or gradually like step 1, step 2? Typically, Joe, GSMR emergency call is whack the brakes in as hard as you can. However, and again, this comes down to complete driver's discretion. If I was coming into the station there, like at Rochester, and the emergency call went off, I would probably want to stop the train in the right place on the platform. That way I can get the doors open, I can get the passengers off if there's going to be a long delay. But if you're out on the main line, driving along at 80, 90, 100 miles an hour and you get an emergency call, it's literally just whack it straight into emergency. For all you know, there could be a tree that's come down just round the corner that you can't see. So yeah, generally speaking, whack it straight in. But if I'm coming into a station or something like that, then you know I'm probably gonna want to sort of stop at the station. Yeah, so you've kind of got to use your initiative a little bit and kind of just judge each situation on its merits. Mark, yeah, technically you could fly over the tracks. With a sub 250 drone, you would not be breaking any rules if you'd done that. But the problem is you've got to weigh up that risk and decide whether it's worth you doing it. If you flew over the tracks and something happened with the drone, one of the motors failed and it fell in front of a train, you're going to be liable for that. So it really is about being sensible with it. That's the best advice I can give. You're still not allowed to fly over crowded places or anything like that, and you've still got to follow no-fly zones around airports and stuff. So, yeah, no worries, Joe. Keep up the good work. Stay on for a bit longer. We'll drop you off in... I know we're at Chatham, aren't we? That's where Dovetail are. So we'll drop you off at Chatham. Pay attention to my driving and get some brakes in. It'd be a good idea there, wouldn't it? Overshooting the stop mark, not a problem. So there we go, guys. We are 6-car train, 6-car mark platform on the left. Yeah, my left and right's the right way around this time, which is good. And we have 132 of you lovely people in today, which is brilliant. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing. It really does help me out. Ben Clayton, what is the use of the hazard lights on a train? So, if we press that button there, we've got flashing lights on the front. Normally it's the headlights that flash, but it could well be flashing reds. I don't know for sure, so I'm not saying it's not. And basically, if I was driving towards that train and I saw flashing lights on the front of it, I'm going to chuck my emergency brakes on as fast as I possibly can and get my train stopped. So that is basically, it's a hazard on the line ahead. You want other traffic to stop. It could be that the radio's failed and the driver's been unable to use the GSMR. Hazard lights are basically telling the train coming towards you to stop. Oh, we're getting a bit of rain. Hey. Eddie, thanks for sharing your knowledge. I love this channel because I can see great gameplay and learn about trains. Thank you, Eddie. Really appreciate that. Except when we start overrunning platforms, of course. Love the sounds on the 395. I love the sounds on this game, full stop. There's been major upgrades to the sounds. They are really, really nice now in comparison. I love the water effect on the windscreen as well. That is lovely. The way the kind of droplets hit and then they spread out. And it's affected by the train speed. So if we're going faster, you'll kind of see the water droplets coming up the windscreen. The wipers on these are really annoying, mate, so I don't want to put them on. Mark, great, that's really useful, thanks. Tried to find out if Google search and didn't come up with anything for the new rules. Just got a Mini 3 Pro and keen to know how I can use it. Yeah, the Mini 3 is C1, is it C1 or C0 rated as well? I've got a 2, but I do like the look of the 3. I look at the rain effects. Oh, that is really nice. I think we're going to have to use those wipers in a minute. Don Rusty Rails, love your real world experiences with the stream. Thanks, no worries. Bart the man, excellent stream. Thank you, bud. So coming towards Gillingham, we can do a 375. I've got till about. I've got till 3:45 before British Ace goes live again, and he's going to be doing the. Oh, come on, my German pronunciations. Joe's going to be doing the German route for you at 3:45. So we've got a little bit of time to fill out. I want to do a high-speed run on the down to Ashford, but I also want to get in either the 375 or the 465. So we can do a run back. We can do Faversham back to Dartford. 6Yankee29, great username. Welcome to Deborah, new subscriber. We can do a run back to Dartford in either the steam engine. We can do the Jubilee Spirit of Steam engine back, or we can do like a 465 or a 375 run. So it's up to you. You guys sort of tell me what you fancy. Definitely need wipers on now. So we are looking for the 6-car mark because we are a 6-car train, which is just there. If we can put that in the side window, we're doing all right. Yeah, we'll take that. Beautiful. And again, 3-step check. We are into neutral, personal preference. We are 6-car train, 6-car mark, doors on the left. And we'll go down to the level crossing and get a flyby when we leave here. The Mini 3 Pro is still not officially rated under the new system. There's no drain that is yet. I thought the Mini 3 had been. I know the Mini 3's been certified in the EU, I think, hasn't it, Mark? But not yet in the UK because we're under different rules now, which is a bit of a shame. Luke, only discovered you today. Your Class 66 videos seem like a good egg. Oh, thanks, bud. I want to be a driver myself, but I'm getting long in the tooth at a whopping 34, and nobody wants to hire in Devon. Devon's a bit of a bugger for railways. You've got Great Western at Exeter. It's probably your best bet, if I'm being honest. Depends where you are in Devon. 34, no. We've got drivers starting that are older than that. 34, you're absolutely fine. You're probably at a good age, actually, I would say. But yeah, down in Devon, your options are pretty limited, aren't they, as to where you can go and what you can do. Right, as promised, we'll kind of get it going out the station, and then we'll see if we can get down to the crossing. This is where I regret having the DSD. This is where I regret having the DSD in, isn't it? And I end up tripping it. I just keep pressing Q to reset it. Fred Spencer, welcome, new subscriber. Let's run down to the level crossing. I am told as well that if you're on foot and you stand in front of the cars at the level crossing, they will toot at you. It's a really nice touch. We are off to Rainham, 2.4 miles. Rainham to Dartford. Perfect route for a 700. I think Joe's gone now, he's not in the stream, but perfect route for a 700, please. Levi 6859. When I go to the UK, I'm riding this train. They are nice. The 395s. They are nice. They do ride nice. Idiotic lasagna. Why does it have two wipers? Do you know what? I don't know exactly why it has two wipers. Maybe it's better at clearing the window with two wipers. I'm not entirely sure. Could be something to do with 140 mile an hour running. Yeah, genuinely, I'm not 100% sure. LDSGD not thoroughly accurate that the Gillingham level crossing has no Sainsbury's in the distance. So guys, let's play a game.
Post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
Locomotive livery location. What are we good for? We're good for about 85 or something. Rainham coming up though, we should probably think about getting some brakes in, because we're only half a mile out from Rainham. Probably think about getting a lot of brakes in. More than that maybe? Ooh, what are we thinking? Yeah, the brakes on the 395 are not that great actually. No, come on, don't overrun the station. Because I'm paying attention to the chat and not the game. I'm using that excuse, I'm sticking to it. And it's a wet rail, but we're going to stop. No tea and biscuits for me. And we get to release that as well, so we're not stopping with loads of brake force, which is good. When you come to a stand, you really want as little braking as possible. It's kind of general rule of thumb. And if we can get that in the side window, we're doing well. That's close enough. Okay, so our three-step check. We are 6 cars. We're on the S-car mark, and the doors are on the left.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
Rowan Plays would like number 10. Here we go. Oh! That's one of two things. Alex, welcome. No worries, bud. Really enjoying it. Thank you for promoting, and thank you for allowing me to be an ambassador and everything else. And thank you for what I personally think is a really great product. We are off to Sittingbourne. We're on a green. And off we go. So I'm only going to give it power notch 2 because we've got a bit of a wet rail till we get to about 5 miles an hour. Then we give it 3. There's no kind of set rule with that, but what you don't want to be doing is giving it loads of power and it starts wheel slipping. So I'm just giving it a little bit to get the train moving, and then once we're moving, I sort of up the power a little bit. Just as Lewis, perfect stop, thank you. Mark Hazelstone, 700 in Train Sim World would be lovely, as long as they don't bugger up the sounds like they did in Train Sim Classic. We have no ATS AP to save us if they do. I do know that Dovetail do work quite closely with AP though, because they've used AP sounds on a couple of things, so it's quite possible that they may work with AP on that. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I've said it before. I would almost be prepared to put. I'm not a betting man, so I wouldn't be 100% prepared, but I'd almost be prepared to put money on the fact that at some point in this game there will be a 700. There's too many routes that you can use it on. That's the thing. Orslava6789. This game looks so cool. Brilliant. Peter888 UK. Totally enjoying Train Sim World 3. Fabulous. Richard the Train Store and more. Good evening. Good evening. I usually stream in the evenings. That's why I'm saying good evening. Good afternoon, bud. How are you doing? Bradshaw M. HS1 driver. Worth it. What do you mean, bud? Drista Erden, welcome to Dabra, only subscriber. Great. Eleni Arazuma, yeah, I think the ones that go via Ashford are either the Margate or the Ramsgate ones. I'm not entirely sure. Does it say? No, it didn't tell me on there. Drista Erden says hello. It's a good route and thank you for the stream. I don't. Actually, there's possibly an opportunity at work coming up to learn French, because we do a little bit of freight work through the Channel Tunnel, and there's possibly an opportunity coming up to learn French. So I have schoolboy level French. On sont les toilettes. Je voudrais Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, la Coca-Cola. That's the limit of my French. Je déteste l'informatique. No, mathematique. Yeah, okay. We're doing foreign languages on Dad Rouse streams. It's a variety channel, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I think if you want to drive 395s for Southeastern, I believe you have to have been what they call a classic driver for so many years before you can become a high-speed driver. Again, don't quote me on that, but when I worked for Southeastern, that was the case. Josh Stewart, am I the only one who can only drive the Class 66? Do you have issues with the other one then, Josh? Carmen A. Richard, content idea. Would you ever make a video about the types of freight wagons and driving braking characteristics? So I don't know if you've seen, Carmen. I have got a video that I put out, a Train Sim World 3 video on the Class 66, where I was speaking about how it handles the stuff, which is the handling on it is pretty decent. As regards to sort of the freight wagons and stuff like that, it's quite a difficult video to do. It is something I could possibly look into and have a think about, but I think it'd be quite difficult to produce. DET trains, when it's a thunderstorm, do you put your night headlights on or daylights on? You typically normally drive around with your daylights on. You only put your night lights on during hours of darkness. In terms of headlights on a train, they are more there so people can see you rather than you can see where you're going. So yeah, some people ask like, what time do you change your lights over and stuff? There's no set time. It's completely down to personal preference. So I think going over the Western Junction there's a pretty good place to get the brakes if you're sitting born. I may have left that a bit late as well. Or not. And this is the Eastern Junction. So the line that comes on is the Sheerness branch. So trying desperately not to use more than my 60% brake there, which is brake step 5 on this. The 395 actually has a continuous brake handle. The brake handle is not in steps, so it's like 0 to 100%. I think that's coming in. So doing me commentary driving, we're a 6-car train, we're looking for the 6-car mark, and the platform is on the left, so I'm kind of prepping myself there, just getting my concentration in, as we were saying earlier about losing situational awareness and having muscle memory. So purely by saying that coming into the station, I'm kind of just preempting it almost. If we get it in the side window. There we go. So we are a 6-car train. We are on the 6-car mark and our doors are on the left. Matthew Rice, when would you rev up a 66? I've seen videos where 66 drivers would rev engines at a red light without going anywhere. Okay, Matthew, so what happens with a 66 is it's probably not the driver revving it up. The 66... when the compressor runs on a 66, the air compressor, and if a driver's just stopped at a red light, there's a good chance the compressor's going to kick in as the brakes charge up. When the air compressor kicks in, the engine will automatically rev itself up. That's something it doesn't do on Train Sim World, but it's not an issue. The engine will rev itself up automatically in order to increase the electrical output for the compressor. Although the compressor is mechanical, so that's not quite correct. Also, if the 66 has been working hard for a long time, when you shut the 66 off back to idle, the engine will keep revving in notch 2 or notch 3, and that's to like cool down the engine steadily, like a turbo cool down cycle. So as for sort of drivers revving it up, it's probably not the driver doing it, it's probably the train revving itself up for the air compressor, or electrical supplies or other things that it needs. We are off to Faversham. We have got a green light. Oh my god, umbrellas worth the 40 quid, idiotic lasagna. There was a running gag, wasn't there? The umbrella update. It's got a lot more than umbrellas. Wrong way 2021. I'm using keyboard and mouse. I know Rail Driver sort of works with Train Sim World. I would like to see full joystick support, and I've said this in previous streams. Diesel Railcar Simulator has it. OpenBV had it back in the day. Full joystick support. If you get like a Thrustmaster joystick or something, would be absolutely epic. It's something that would be really good to see. What I would ultimately like to see, not just with Train Sim World, with Train Sims in general, is I'd kind of like to see a lot more. I don't know if it happens because it's a bit of a niche market, but a lot more sort of external hardware and stuff coming online. I know Alan Thompson had the controller and the various buttons and stuff like that. But if you look at the flight sim world, you've got like Saytech who make flight yokes and stuff like that. It'd be really nice if we had some sort of commercially available. I don't think you can get the Alan Thompson stuff anymore anyway. If you had like commercially available Train Sim controllers and screens and dials, or if we had APIs, you could have like multi-monitor for Train Sim. Like I'm running a 2-monitor setup. It'd be really nice to sort of have, you know, I mean you could do it with like GeForce to split your screen and stuff, but if you have proper multi-monitor setups, you could have like your side windows done. Maybe you could move your instruments onto a separate panel, so you could sort of build mock cab setups. That'd be really nice if we had those abilities. I expect the market's a little bit too niche though for that, really. But then is it more niche than the flight sim market? I don't know. I've got the TS controller PVC. It's amazing. So there are 124 of you lovely people still here. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing. That would be brilliant. If this happens to be the first video you've seen by me, then my name is Richard, and if you've got no idea what's going on, I am a freight train driver and a former passenger train driver based in the southeast of England. My channel is called Dad Rail because I have 4 children who don't really have any interest in trains, apart from one of them, who I may be forcing to have an interest in trains. Who knows? And you are very welcome to the channel and to the stream. And if you're into that sort of thing, you're very welcome to join our Discord server. There's a link in the description below. You can still buy everything apart from the BBC, but that's being re-released soon with a version 2. I might have to look out for that then. Oh, Matthew, very good question. Would you rather have a 73 in Train Sim 3 or a Thameslink? Right, personally, I'd rather have the 73. 73, do you know what would be epic? 73 with RHTT, railhead treatment trains, because that's what I drive. So, you know, having your local route and your local traction, I think, is what every train simmer wants. But if it was between the 700 and the 73, I would say I want the 73. But it would have to be done right, and I think doing a 73 right with things like third rail gaps incorporated, arcing and sparking, resistor banks, I think it would be really, really difficult for the devs to pull that off, to make it realistic. I think if it was done, it wouldn't be done to a standard that I would be particularly happy with, if that makes sense. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but even the Train Sim Classic one, I want to say it's on Master Key Simulations, I don't think that's good. Compared to driving the real thing, it's terrible. It doesn't simulate it properly. So I think in terms of getting a product that would be really usable and really good and could be really accurate, I think the 700 would be better, but I would like to see the 73. Luke Davies got to walk to the other office now. Hope your life of an IT manager. Drive safe. Thanks, Luke. Jim Morton just downloading Train Sim 3 looks so much better than Train Sim Classic. Carmen A, very, very good question. Do freight drivers have to do a walk around of the train and the wagons like pilots do before a flight? That is genuinely a really good question. So, generally speaking, as the driver, we are responsible for the locomotive. So we will do checks on the locomotive known as a prep, and part of your prep will be to walk around the outside of the locomotive. You're checking the brake blocks, you're checking the sand, you walk through the engine room, you're checking the oil and coolant levels, you're checking the lights are working and stuff like that. The 2 yellows, 1 yellow ahead. The shunter on the train is the shunter would be responsible for the entire train, so it would normally be the job of the shunter to walk around all the wagons, checking all the parking brakes are off, checking all the couplings are right, checking there's no loose doors on them or loose bits of ballast or stone sat on the side that could fly off, and checking everything's safe. So the shunter would do a full walk around of the train. You then have a document called a train list, and the shunter has to sign the train list in order to say that the train's in good order to proceed. So yes, everything is checked. Everything is checked. Right, we've got 1 yellow. As we approach Faversham, it is chucking it down. Let's put those wipers on a bit faster. Graham Hall, first live stream I've caught there. I normally watch on replay due to time difference from down under. Really enjoy the driving tips and I apply them to my sim. Really enhances the experience. Oh, fantastic, Graham. Coming into Faversham in less than ideal conditions. So we are 646. Let me know what you would like to see now, guys. I'm quite inclined to do a 375 from Faversham back to Gravesend or back to Rochester. But let me know what you would like to see. I am open to suggestions. There we are. We are 6 on the 6, so we go full service, brake, we set our DRA into neutral. 3-step check, so we have 6-car train, 6-car mark, platform on the left. British Ace, got to love the Dynamic Weather. Please do it in the dark, says Jay. I like dark driving, but I just don't think it looks particularly good on the stream, Jay. I mean, we could do a short run. Snowstorm. We could do a short run in the dark. Nighttime drive. Carmen A, great, that was really helpful, thanks, no worries. What have we got? What have we got? Whee, gold medal. Fantastic, we'll take that. A little bit of speeding, but it's a dad rail stream. What would it be without technical difficulties and speeding? Evening is nice. Dartford to Gravesend. Yeah, we could do a Dartford to Gravesend 465 in the evening. How does that sound? I think that would. Should we go with that? I would do the German route, but I would completely muck it up. So I'm not gonna risk my professional reputation, or very limited professional reputation that I have. So we're doing an evening run later than that, so 1916, is that possibly a bit early there? What do we reckon? Oh, Graham, no worries. Good night, bud. Thanks for joining. Shunter Jack class 92 would be good for this route. Oh, yeah, 92 would be great. Would be really good. Do you reckon? I think we should go September. Should we go a bit later than that? Gravesend to Charing Cross 2003. We'll do it in clear conditions. We'll see how that looks lighting wise. We may go for something earlier or later. We can do a snowstorm run, Crazy Plays, if you want to. We can do that. Don't forget, guys, you have got me till about 3:30. And then you've got Joe, British Ace, will be streaming over on his channel again at 3:45. And he's going to be doing the Kassel-Wurzburg route, I want to say it's called. That's a bit darker than I wanted it to be. Should we roll with that? It's only a 15-minute run. Should we? Yeah, we'll roll with that. Why not? Let's give it a go. Let's get some safety systems in first. Lights up like a Christmas tree. Neutral, right. Tail lights off. That's our night running light, and we want to do aux heating and lighting on, and get the doors open. Get some passengers. Right, where are we stopping? Northfleet, Swanscombe, Greenhive, Stone Crossing. So we are all stations to Dartford. So in my opinion, the headlight on this is a little bit bright. The shadows on the people are pretty awesome though, but I think the headlight's a little bit overdone, possibly a little bit too bright there. We just have a quick look in the train. Nice and busy, very big. Look at the amount of passengers on this, it's really good to see. Nice and busy, that's what we like. I do like the networker. I'm particularly fond of the networker. So the 465 now comes as part of Train Sim World Free. It's included. You don't have to buy it as a separate DLC. It's included with the base package, the Southeastern High Speed package. No, Jay, that's what I was saying. I think the headlights are probably a little bit too bright on this, if I'm being honest with you. John McGlade, I'm good. How are you, bud? How are you? Eddie Hartsford, how does night lighting compare to Train Sim World 2, Dad? I think it's much better on here. Much better. Carmine, how do you adapt your route knowledge when driving at night or in fog? You pretty much don't. You drive exactly the same. Even in thick fog, you drive to... Your route knowledge should be at a standard where you know where your braking points are, where you can stop easily. Do you know what? Let's be brave and do it HUDless. I saw Joe do it HUDless earlier. And I signed this route in real life, so I've got no excuses. Let's go. Right, so we're all stations to Gravesend. No, we're at Gravesend. All stations to Dartford. How many carriages are we? Let's just double check that. Right, we are... Oh, we're at 8 car. Okay. Yeah, that's about right. That's about what I would expect to see. Shining up in the trees there, though, on the left, probably not. The headlight's probably a bit lower down than that. But that is pretty much the view I would expect. Crazy Plays, I love the networker. It is nice. Matthew, please could you look at the interior passenger information screens? Yeah, remind me when we stop at a station and I'll do that. Yeah, lettuce, the HUD is pretty much the same. I don't think the HUD's changed at all. Right, so we're good for 70. Two yellows cleared to green ahead of us. We should put the dynamic brakes on as well, shouldn't we? The regen on, sorry. Because it sounds nice. Mark, what do people think about the old routes not getting the new lighting when they're ported over? I'm quite disappointed about that. Matt P said it would be a ton of work. I would never say never to that, Mark. I possibly think it would be like the preserved collection. I think they might update stuff and release it as we go along. I think that's more likely what's going to happen with that. So we're going to shut off the power there. We're coming around the corner towards Northley. The preliminary route indicator we've just gone past there, they have not been modelled. And I'm told the reason for that was because of COVID. The developer who was dealing with that was ill during COVID and just wasn't time post-COVID to get that implemented. Obviously they've been working on this for a very long time. That's what you've got to remember, guys. It's not kind of a 5-minute thing. And as we come over Springhead Junction there, I'm going to start dropping a bit of braking for Northley. Nice and steady. So we are an 8-car train. We are heading for the 8-car mark and the doors will be on the left. What you want to be doing, guys, is trying to get your braking points worked out so you can come all the way in one brake application. I've done it on a stream the other day, Train Sim Classic on the 700. We're pretty much getting it spot on, hitting the platform at just the right speed. One brake application, stops perfectly. We are 8 for the 8 at the end of the platform there. So a few people have commented, not in this stream but in previous streams, that the lighting at night is too dark. If anything, it's a little bit too light, in my honest opinion. Right, we are an 8-car train, 8-car mark. Doors are on the left. Where's the button? Yeah, if anything, it's probably a little bit light. Headlights on trains are really not very good in real life. I'm going to put the HUD on so I know when the passengers have loaded, but I must remember to turn it off again because I always forget. Matt said they have no plans, but I agree. I think they might have to do it eventually. Oh, right, okay, that's a bit of a shame. Crazy Players, I think the night is too bright. Yeah, the headlights on the train they're not bad. It's much better than Train Sim World 2, but it probably still is a little bit too bright if I'm being honest. Let's get that HUD off so I'm not cheating. Right, we are off to Swanscombe. Oh, Matthew, right. I'm sticking that thought in my head now. So coming over top of HS2. Going to shut off the power there because Swanscombe is not very far away. We are an 8-car train heading for the 8-car mark. I should turn off all the other aids as well, really, shouldn't I? I'm cheating. Oh, come on. Nobody saw that. That didn't happen. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Why not? Let's just overrun all the stations, shall we? On that note,
Post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
what do I want to do? Passenger information screens in the train. There we go. They do look really nice, the way the... I don't know if I like the way the light reflects off of them. I think that's a bit... just seems like a bit too much. I mean, that should be like a reflection, shouldn't it? That just looks like a continuation. The reflection just doesn't look... I don't know, maybe it's just me. It just doesn't... Maybe it's just a bit too much. All the passengers got off, though. It's because we overshot the station. Right, let's go to Greenhive for Blue Water. Helps if you lock the doors first, though. Right, so I'm going for the third number on my screen. Which is Cayman A, number 16.
Let's play locomotive livery location.
Hey, Benny CDM, welcome to Dabra, new subscriber. Okay, right, number 16 for you guys. I can't even find number 16 on my panel, there we go. Anything there to help you with that location? Do let me know what you reckon in there, guys. Very interested to hear your thoughts as always. So we're going to start dropping downhill towards Greenhive, so I'm getting the brakes in nice and early there. Probably a little bit too early. I'm being overly cautious now. Oh. And we are an 8-car train heading for the 8-car mark at Greenhive. Railways of Cornwall, ROG 37, Rowan Place 37 hauling a rail toll, ROG 37 somewhere in GWR land. No idea on the location at the moment, says Railways of Cornwall. Oh, it's looking like a good stop. It's one brake application so far now. We're going to need a little bit of brake step 2 there, aren't we? Little bit of brake step 2 just to bring that in. That was looking alright at the beginning there. We are an 8-car train. We are on the 8-car mark. Platform is on the left. I should really have been aiming to stop next to the DOA monitors. That would have been a good place to stop in real life. It was spoken about a little while ago. I would love to see like the monitors in the cabs and on the platforms working, but from what I'm told, it would absolutely tank the frame rates. It would literally kill the frame rates. So that's why it's not been implemented. Oh, excuse me. It's been a long morning. 37 somewhere in Worcester, says Pig and Bob. Super Steve 27, what do you do if you forget the line speed coming out of a station or anywhere else on the line? Slow down. pretty much. Yeah, if you're not 100% sure what the line speed is, just go slow. Why won't it go? What have I done? I'm in forward, aren't I? I am now. There we go. Right, stone crossing. Eddie Hartsfield, Dad Rail, what is the best way to establish breakpoints for stations? That's purely down to your route knowledge. You'll find exactly what speed you want to be doing at what point. For example, there's a coasting board there on the left. Stone crossing's not very far. Yeah, you'll get fixed points on your route where you'll think that's a good place to start braking. Yeah, so when you're learning the route and you're out with your mentor driver or your driver instructor, you'll just pick things up really. So we're downhill into Stone Crossing sits in a bit of a valley. You're downhill into it both directions. I don't know what brake step I'm in because I can't see. There we go. That's the only problem with not having the HUD on is I can't see what brake step I'm in. Ah, that's an unusual move. Don't see a 395 down here very often. And we are 6 for the 6. We'll try and stop on the monitors this time. Bang on. Lovely. Look at that. And we are a 6-car train. No, we're an 8-car train. Apologies. 8-car mark. Doors on the left. That's what I mean there. See, I'm even saying 6 because I've been driving a 6-car train for ages. I'm saying 6. And it's little things like that that can really throw you if you're not concentrating. Eddie, coasting boards are the little white diamond boards on the left-hand side of the track. And that's basically telling you where you should shut off power and let the train coast. Eleniata Zuma, yeah, we will jump into... That's a good shout. We'll jump into a 375 next. On passenger services, when you stop at a station, do you put the reverser into neutral? Where I worked previously at Southeastern, there was no requirement to put it into neutral. It was personal preference. Let's go. Next stop, Dartford. So we have got 121 of you lovely people in, which is fantastic. If you haven't already, guys, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing. I've got a couple of other videos coming out later on today. I've been busy filming all morning. I've got a tutorial on the Class 66, which I've split into 3 parts. You've kind of got like a beginner's tutorial, start it up, getting it moving, which takes about 3 or 4 minutes. And then like a fault finding tutorial, so if you can't get it moving, things to check. And then I've got kind of like an advanced guide with the train length indicator, traction motor cutout, brake timings, and I kind of go through all that and explain those bits. So that will be out later on today. I will also be doing a 66 real life comparison video. So that'll be me kind of walking around the 66 in Train Sim World 3 and showing you exactly what I would be doing if I was prepping the train in real life. So I'll sort of be showing you all the things that I'd be looking out for, and then sort of doing a full real life cab prep as it would be, and then sort of pointing out some of the differences between the real life version and the Train Sim World version. And I'm also going to be doing, again, this will be coming out later on today. I filmed it, I haven't edited it yet. Will be a comparison, a side-by-side comparison between Train Sim World 2 and Train Sim World 3. So we're on the Southeastern High Speed route on both games, and just looking at how different the lighting and the dynamic weather and stuff is, so like side-by-side screenshots. So they'll all be coming out within the next day or 2. I will also be doing a live stream tonight at 8:30, which is my usual streaming time. 20 coming up, get some breaks in, Richard, which is my usual streaming time. But tonight's live stream will be a lot more chilled out, and that is going to be on, wait for it, Stepford County Railway roadblocks. which is a completely different audience to this stream. I understand that. So if you're getting sick and tired of Train Sim World content, and I'm not sure why you would, but if you want to have a look at something a bit different, then Stepford County Railway, if you don't know, is a Roblox multiplayer game. It's more of a railway community game rather than a simulator. Do you got these hazard lights on, or is that just clipping out? Yeah, it's a multiplayer sort of railway community-based game. You do drive trains, but it's not in any way accurate. It's just a bit of fun. So that'll be 8:30 tonight if you want to join in with that one. So we are an 8-car train. We are heading for the 8-car mark, and doors are on the left. Matthew Rice, what do you do if your wheels lock when you apply your brakes? So on modern day multiple units like the one we're driving, Matthew, they have something called WSP, which is wheel slide protection. So the chances of the wheels locking up are very slim, because it's basically the equivalent of ABS on a car, so it'll release the brakes to stop them locking up. On a locomotive, however, you don't have any fancy technology like that. So if the wheels lock up, what you want to do as the driver to avoid putting wheel flats on there is you want to get the wheels turning as quickly as possible. So you releasing the brakes is a good place to start. Put a little bit of power in if you need to. You just want to get those wheels rotating again. Having locked up wheels is never good. You're just going to put wheel flats on it. You're going to cause lots of damage. You're not going to stop in a hurry. So yeah. Brake step 3, DRA set, into neutral. We are a 8-car train, nearly said 6. We're an 8-car train, 8-car mark, platform on the left. Train driver vlogs. So the difficulty I've had, Jay, in the past few months / weeks / years has primarily been down to time. Because I have a 3-year-old. He's at home during the day and he runs around, makes lots of noise, and it makes filming vlogs and stuff really, really difficult. He is now at nursery, which is lovely. So I've got a bit more free time during the days now, which is why I'm able to do this stream with no noise in the background, which is really nice. So I've got a few things planned. I've got a couple of things already scripted and ready to go with that, so there will be more content like that coming. Return to free roam main menu. No, we don't want to go free roam, do we? Oh, Southeastern driver in uniform. Hello. Can we sit in the second man seat? Will it let me do that? How far out of Dartford will it let me travel? I remember wearing that uniform. Just waiting to see how far it's gonna let me go. It'll come up out of bounds, I guess, eventually. Oh, we've got interlock. It's a self-driving train, look. She's not doing anything. I bet it doesn't let me go very far. Be interesting to see, though. Let's have a little look. Mark Hazelding, back to coasting balls. Why are they needed? Surely you just accelerate, coast or brake depending on the speed limit and how fast you're going. Seems redundant. It was all more to do with eco driving, Mark, to be completely honest with you. So it's just an indication of when you can. It's an indication of when you can shut off power and still maintain time. The DSD is going to trip in a minute. The AI is not a very good driver. Still letting us go though. Can I cancel that? Is it going to let me cancel that? Well, how far are we going to go? There should be a substation, a big building coming up on the right. Is that in? No, that's not in. The scenery starts disappearing now. We know we're getting near the end. If the out of bounds comes, just press return to free roam, it will work. Ah! Got a headache now. We're still going though. Anyway. That's not too bad, is it? Should we play another game?
Post your numbers now for locomotive livery location.
AI are bad drivers. Yeah, definitely. So we'll have a little go on the 375 as well. And then we may have to stop. What do we got? So Joe, British Ace, is going to be on the Castle Wurzburg. I can't pronounce German names for my life. He's going to be on that line. That's off 345. We'll see how we get on. Because my voice is starting to go now. Because I've been filming all morning, chatting away too much. Railways of Cornwall. You are the third one on my screen with number 1, my friend.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Let's give you number 1. Heavy Metal Aviation, New South Wales. Welcome to Dartford. Any ideas? Try to get past Ashford on the out of bounds direction. Okay, let's do like a drive this service from Faversham to Rochester. Should we go with that? Dynamic Weather 6th of September. Let's put it into December. That's 6:22 in the morning. That's probably a little bit early. Let's go for a daytime run this time. Yeah, Faversham to Rochester. Let's put it in light snow because the snow effects are really nice. So let's put it in light snow and see how we get on. My train on Camden Pass is too long. It has to load. So long it has to load. Don't forget the snowstorm. Not a Scooby, says Mark. The snow is looking pretty sweet, I must say. Okay, guys, before we jump into that, I'm going to do the typical train driver thing. I need to use the loo and grab myself a drink. So we are going to take a 5-minute break and we'll be back in 5 minutes. There's a good opportunity for everybody else to go and do the same. And we'll be back in 5 minutes and we'll do this 375 run with the snow effects and see how we get on. And of course we've got locomotive location delivery to finish up. So, short toilet break, back in 5 minutes. We would like to apologise for the delay to this stream. This is due to awaiting a member of the train crew. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else, we have tea. We don't have a Dad Rail mug. Dad Rail mugs are available from the Dad Rail merch store. Overpriced Dad Rail mugs. I don't set the price, Teespring do, and they're overpriced. Just being completely honest. Right. I'm not actually going to get to drink this because I've just had a phone call from my son's school and he's had a little accident at school and I need to go and pick him up. Nothing too serious. He's just hurt his ankle and he can't walk home. I personally think he probably just doesn't want to walk home because that's what kids do. This is the perils of being a father. So unfortunately, guys, I am going to have to end the live stream there. I know Joe will be going live at 15:45. He may even go live a little bit earlier. So I'll post a link in the chat right now, actually. I have a link to Joe's stream. I'll post that in the chat right now. That should be coming out to you. So, unfortunately, yeah, I will have to end there, which I'm really gutted about because I was really looking forward to doing that last run, and it's been such a busy stream, which has been brilliant. So, I do apologise for that. Head over to Joe's channel. Do check out some of the other Train Sim World content going on today as well. I will be back this evening at 8:30 for Stepford County Railway. If you've never seen SCR before, it's a really casual sort of bit of fun. It's not a serious train simulator, but if you haven't seen that, then do head over to there. That'd be brilliant. So, yeah, unfortunately, son's twisted his ankle, got to pick him up. He'll be absolutely fine. I'm sure he just doesn't want to walk home from school. But there we go. So, guys, thank you very, very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. That would be absolutely brilliant. And subscribe to Dad Rail. Check out the videos I will be releasing later on today. Hopefully you can make the stream later on. Jump over to Joe's stream. Join the Discord. Check my social media. All those good things. Press the button. Cue the music. That's the worst end to a stream ever. Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.